Good morning. I'm here with Susanna with Heart of Phoenix Equine Rescue, and she's about to introduce me to some of the ponies that
Some of them are ponies.
Some of them actually are. I call them all ponies, though.
Yes.
So, some of the equines that are here for the ATFO this weekend. And if you don't know what the ATFO is, it's a huge event where trainers who are fostering these horses have an opportunity to showcase the work that they've been doing with these horses in order to get them to where at the end of the week where there's an auction and some of these horses can be adopted out to their families.
It's not just a work show, it's a lot of fun.
That's true. And there's also what's the one show?
There is a fun show running on Friday and Saturday right before or right after the competition. So there's all kinds of classes in that.
So be sure to come out and visit.
Bring your horse
us. We're
on
at
Friday
the
or Saturday.
Winfield Riding Club.
Right.
All right, let's take a look.
So, talking about Tania yesterday on the live stream, what gets it for her is that we're here for these horses years later. This horse never originally touched Heart of Phoenix with her feet on the ground. Tania, before Heart of Phoenix was a 501c3, rescued her mom pregnant and placed her. I don't remember if she knew that the mare was pregnant or if the adopter contacted her and said, hey, listen, I think there's a bun in the oven or something. So this one was born to that adopter, and years later when she couldn't keep her, she contacted us and said, I know that this one, Paella, was not originally a Heart of Phoenix horse, but
okay.
She came through you all. Would you all have any ability to take her in? And Tania's like, yes. So she hopped in the truck.
Paella?
Paella, yeah.
You know what breed she is?
She's part Arabian. I don't think she's full Arabian. This is Wellington. And
Hey,
Wellington
bud.
is one of those fake kill pin scheme thingies.
Okay.
And he was marketed as a draft horse cross, I think weanling. Like he was supposed to be 8 months old.
Like a halflinger cross or something?
No, he was supposed to be a full draft.
Really?
That was 8 months old. Full draft cross, like a Belgian cross or something like that. That was 8 months old.
Gotcha, okay.
And they were trying to say he was a baby, and that's why he's so short. He went to another rescue, and last year they were like, can you take him because he's a little above our skill set? They hadn't been able to look at his teeth or whatever. And we
Sure.
got him and discovered he was like
Friendly
3.
guy.
Well, he was like 2 when we got him. So
Okay.
he was like 2. He's done maybe an inch of growing since we had him.
Can you see him? He's a cute little guy. Look at him.
This is
Stocky.
Justin Hafner, one of the judges' showcases. This is Tabasco, and he's actually one of Heart of Phoenix's favorites. We've had him a very, very long time. He is an Appalachian Brumby, rounded up off of the mine in a band of reject stallions.
Hi there, bud.
These are the stallions that get
Hey.
kicked out of the main band because the band stallions like, this is my band, you leave or
So he
die.
was rounded up as a stallion.
He was rounded up as a stallion in a band of stallions. There's like 7 of them that banded together and made their own band. And he actually is a Belgian saddlebred, standardbred cross because we had his brother also and we had him DNA'd. So he's a Belgian standardbred saddlebred cross. And we've had him a very long time because he was one of the mistakes that we made. We sent him to a trainer that screened well but actually wasn't doing good things.
Okay.
Left him with baggage.
Oh my goodness.
And so
Oh, buddy.
this is the year that he's gotten untangled, and we're so excited. Like, we're over the moon. Every time his video comes out or something comes out where his trainer has done something with him, we're sending it to each other going, look at Tabasco.
Good for you.
Last year we'd almost decided that he was just going to be a companion horse because he, under saddle, it just felt, and we're like, okay, fine, he can be a companion horse because he loves people. He's very friendly.
He's a sweet guy.
He's our face. He's sweet. He's polite. All that kind of stuff. And then this year we were like, okay, maybe one more try. And you know, a lot of times when we do one more try, that's not been the right choice. But we're humans, and that happens. But this guy, the one more try was the magic ticket. You like that,
you
Dr.
like-
Pepper,
yeah.
too? Yes.
Good company.
We're excited to see what he does.
Yeah, buddy.
We love all
Awesome.
of them. Some of them, they're just so endearing, you know.
Oh yeah, I can see why. He's a sweetheart.
So this is Zendetta, and
Okay.
she is a showcase horse. Sometimes the trainers take them not as any part of a competition. She came off of a mine. A fella bought her as a weanling off of a mine, and then he turned her over to us when she was a little too challenging for him once he started trying to start her. And Vivian's had
Okay.
her a year, I think,
Hi.
maybe a little over a year. and really done a phenomenal job with her. She's ready now to find an adopter. She's not going to be a beginner horse yet, but I do think one day she will. I think she's ready to find an adopter. And that showcase thing, the trainers that take them on that don't have it in them to compete, is really so valuable for us because she's gotten so much training.
That is awesome.
Yeah, she's a cute little horse, cute little gaited horse.
So she's a mine horse. Somebody got too much for him, and then it ended up.
The problem with these mine horses is they, out on the mines, there are things that are missing because if you imagine they have taken all of the topsoil off.
Nutritionally.
Yeah,
you're saying.
nutritionally.
Okay.
They've taken all the topsoil off, and then, you know, they've had to replant it by law, but they've had to replant it for what will sustain the local wildlife. This is not considered a local wildlife.
Gotcha.
So oftentimes the mines are missing selenium, which is a really valuable one for horses. If a horse grows up with low selenium, it affects how their brain works. So
Interesting.
a lot of times when you see the ones that come from the really low selenium mines, you really can't turn around. But sometimes it just makes them take longer.
Okay.
Especially if we get them when they're young. I think we got her when she was barely 3 and start supplementing them with selenium. Sometimes we can turn some of that around. Once they're like 4 or 5 and they've been selenium deficient, it is what it is as far as what happens with the brain, but the body still needs the selenium, so we still fix it.
Talk about how important that is, because I don't think a lot of people are aware.
The selenium?
Yeah, selenium.
Yeah, so selenium, you can pull a selenium map from the USDA and look at your area. It will show you how likely it is that your area is short on selenium. There are a lot of places up north that have to keep selenium out all the time because their land is so short on selenium, and selenium is just so vital for, especially for the horse's brain development. If you raise a horse in a selenium deficit, they're unnaturally spooky.
And you're saying that, in your experience, if you add selenium back into their diet over time, you'll be able to bring them back to where they're not as spooky, kind of get them over that?
Depending on how young they are. There's a point where it's cemented and that is what you have. But you've still got to fix the selenium because there are other important aspects of the horse that depend on the selenium. You got to be careful though, because you can kill a horse with too much selenium. What we generally do if we suspect it is we buy a selenium block and we put the selenium block out, and if they're eating the selenium block hard and heavy for more than 3 days, then we have the veterinarian pull a blood test because you can test for that and see what that comes back.
Now, a selenium block, is that going to be just its own thing, or is that, for example, would that be considered in a red mineral block?
A red mineral block is pretty trash. We don't ever recommend a red mineral block, but they have other minerals and salt contained in them. Usually they're green.
Look into that a little bit, because I think that's important too. That's what most everybody does, right? They put a big red mineral block out there. Why do you say?
It's got a lot of iron in it, and unless a horse is anemic with a huge parasite load, horses get all the iron they need from their forage. So you're already giving them an overload of something that they don't need. Too much iron unbalances your copper and zinc, and copper and zinc are really vital for so many things in a horse. The most innocent one of those would be the coat color. If you have a low copper, low zinc horse, they're generally reddish cast, and people say, oh, they just get sun bleached. But it's because they're mainly low on copper, which the zinc goes hand in hand with the copper. So if you're low on copper, it's 99.9% sure that you're low on zinc. The red mineral blocks have iron in them, and horses don't need iron at all. They say trace mineral because they have traces of minerals in them. And if you look up the definition of trace, a trace means just a little bit. So if a horse can't get all the mineral supplementation it needs from a trace, they have to consume that whole block maybe, overload themselves on iron, but also the block is 97% salt. A red block is 97% salt. A very ineffective way to mineralize your horses.
You mentioned that, for example, you'll test by putting out the, and if they're licking on it hard, then you'll take them to the vet for a blood test.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people think, oh, that sounds expensive, but it really isn't that bad if you just go and get a blood test and then you know definitively parts at your horse, if you will.
I mean, in my area, the selenium test is like $90, but I have cheaper vets in my area. Maybe here it'd probably be like 130, something like that. I don't know what it'd be in your area, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. But you cannot add selenium to a horse's feed without knowing for sure that they need that, because selenium kills a horse.